Hey Snohomish County, my name is Adam Fortney and I am running for Snohomish County Sheriff. I have a brief message for you today, but it is an important one. I recently heard my opponent say, there is no catch and release policy at the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office. I beg to differ, and I am directly challenging that statement. Not only has law enforcement in our county seen this firsthand for several years, it has been the policy to release misdemeanor suspects who are high on drugs. This policy comes directly from the sheriff. Since the sheriff's office runs the jail, this has impacted every police department in our county. As one very frustrated sheriff's office patrol sergeant said about the catch and release policy, and I quote, "Spring is among us. As the crooks emerge and get hooked up on their warrants, feel free to bring them by the jail so they can be declined and released back into society. It is a great waste of time and drain on our resources." I know what you're thinking right now. Adam, you're directly challenging the sitting sheriff, and you better be able to back this up. In November of 2017, the sheriff's office started to keep track of their jail refusals. If there is no official catch and release policy at the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office, I do find it interesting that they decided to keep a written record of the policy that my opponent says is not in effect. According to these written reports, we are fast approaching 1,000 criminal suspects that have been caught and released by deputy sheriffs and police officers all over our county. To make matters even worse and more disturbing, the deputies are then required to drive these same criminal suspects back to where we found them. Let that sink in for just a minute and think about the impacts this has on our community. These are criminals that have been caught committing crime in our county and simply released back to society to reoffend. This is not okay. By any standard of common sense, this is not okay. How many of these suspects went back out and committed more crimes amongst our neighbors? What if after they were released, they hurt someone when they should have been in jail? Folks, this is not how our criminal justice system is set up to work, and the impacts on both the community and law enforcement are very real. How do these policies make us safer as a community? Do you feel safer? There's one other impact from this catch and release policy that must be discussed and brought out to the public. How many times have citizens or businesses in our county simply chosen not to call 911 because they don't think anything's going to be done? Where does this thought that nothing will be done come from? Consider that you're a police officer, you've made a good arrest, you drive to the jail, and then you get refused a booking. Then that same officer drives the criminal right back to where he found them. As demoralizing as just that one time can be, consider the consequences after the first, second, third, maybe even the fourth time of this. What do you think that does to the mindset of a police officer? After several refusals, what do you think this officer will do when he comes across the fifth, sixth, or seventh criminal? Why waste the time? Why waste our resources? Why go through the same broken process simply to be refused at booking? It goes back directly to what the Sheriff's Office Patrol Sergeant said at the beginning of this video. It is a complete waste of time and drain on our resources. This is the pervasive mindset in law enforcement throughout Snohomish County, and I want to change it back to a law and order mindset. This election in November will determine the path for public safety in our ever-growing county. And I'm offering you a different path than we are currently on. As you drive around Snohomish County, ask yourself, are you safer than you were 4 years ago? If your answer to this question is a no, then take a look at what I'm offering in terms of a different path for public safety in our county. We can do better, and deputy sheriffs and police officers all over our county want to get back to doing their jobs, being supported by their own policies so they can do their job. It is time to take the handcuffs off of our police officers and put them back on the criminals where they belong. Thank you for listening, and if you want to support my campaign for sheriff, you can contact me at the information that's on your screen.